Welcome to Business Studio. My name is Laurent Goldstein and I am your host today. So at Bizwell, we believe that it is critically important to bring more wellness into your lives, and in particular, if you are a business owner, it is important to always keep your energy up and to do things that can allow you to work longer hours in your life and to be more effective in business, and also has to do with mindset. So I've always been a fan of naturopathic medicine. I think it is very important to have a naturopath part of your team, your health team if you want, as you go along in your life, because having a naturopath allows you to be more empowered on how you make decisions that relate to your life. And about 10 years ago, I met Dr. Alison Patton and I produced a first video for her clinic. At the time was called Mountain View Wellness. Dr. Patton has been a naturopath for 21 years, and I really like her entire approach when it comes to health and wellness, but also her attitude, her mindset. And she's also a business owner, obviously. So I'm super happy to interview Dr. Patton today because I want to hear her take on wellness and business, what it takes to be a good business owner, how to think on your feet and adapt to different situations. Dr. Patton had some challenges to go through in her business and personal life, and she overcame them, reinvented her business, and I want to hear that story, and I'm sure you're going to find it very interesting. So without any further ado, I'm introducing you to Dr. Alison Patton. Alison, thank you very much for doing that with me today.
Thank you, Laurent. It's really nice to be with you.
Thank you. Could you share with us a little bit of your journey? You've been a naturopath for about 20 years. Mm-hmm. You started, I think, with Mountain View Wellness. You had a bit of a bigger team back then. Can you share with us a little bit of that journey?
Sure. Well, I was lucky enough to have a couple of partners in my early days in naturopathic medicine, and we had a clinic in South Surrey called Mountain View Wellness. And it at different times it was quite an operation. We would have quite a number of staff, and different practitioners come and go through the years, and we really built a nice business there.
You did, and it was a great environment, it was a great clinic, but things happen, right?
Right.
Things happen. You also were involved early on into politics. So maybe let's talk about that, then we'll talk about your move and the start of outdoor wellness and how that happened.
Absolutely. Well, in 2008, I started doing my MBA at Royal Roads, and after completing the MBA, I was given the honor of the Governor General's Gold Medal for my thesis work. And at the time, my mentor had said to me, well, now that you received this honor, you need to consider giving back, and you should go into politics. So I thought that was a wild idea, honestly, and it made me a bit ill when I first thought about it. Anyhow, as a good student, I did, follow through and started learning more about politics. And about 8 years later, I was part of a team that was elected into City Hall, and I became a city councillor. So that's and that piece did make a shift in my life, because politics is much different than naturopathic medicine from some people say, it's pretty tough in politics, and it was a good learning curve for me, but it did shift things in my life, and that has led me to, in a sense, make some changes and transitions that have brought me to where we are today.
In your opinion, how can you juggle two tracks, having a business, professional life, and also following a passion and interest? Politics is something that you never really thought about, but it came onto your life, basically. It just was, it presented itself.
Correct.
Made you sick at first, but now you're happy.
Yes.
You did it. So how have you managed to do both, and do you find a common ground between the two tracks, where when you're in your clinic, you're 100% there? Right. You're 100%, I can tell. Yes. In your patient here, you're really dedicated and focused on your clinic. At the same time, you have that other life, which is a political life.
Right.
in Surrey, trying
Yes.
to help people having a better environment in where they live, you know.
Right.
So tell me about that, how that works.
Well, I think, again, that's a bit of a learning curve. And because my personality is quite passionate, I give my energy to whatever I'm involved in. At the very beginning, when I was doing both, it wasn't that easy because I think they were getting intertwined at times, which is only natural. And so that was something I had to learn to find a flow back and forth between the two, but keep them somewhat separate. And so I think I have learned that. Of course, there's more to learn, but I've found a way at this point to be involved in both, but yet keep my focus while I'm in each separated to some degree.
You mentioned being passionate. It takes a lot of energy to run by yourself a naturopathic clinic, and maybe you can share with us
Right.
what happened between Mountain View and Outdoor Wellness. Now you don't. You have a much smaller team, so you
Yeah.
kind of reinvented your business model as a naturopath, and have another interest, which is also very time-consuming: politics. It requires a lot of energy. Do you think you find some of your energy from the fact that you are passionate? And what other things do you do in your day-to-day life to keep your energy level up and your motivation up?
Well, I think that each of us are energetic beings, as you spoke about, and so when I'm bringing my energy to an issue or to a person or to something that I'm dealing with, there isn't just an output, there's also a receiving piece. And so if I'm with a patient, yes, I'm giving my energy out, but they're there too, receiving and providing their part in the interaction. And so that is a type of re-energizing that I receive as well. And then in the other piece, the politics, when there is a problem that can have a solution, that energizes me as well. So it's not just an output, and one refreshes me for the other, I find.
What other things? Yeah, I can understand that makes sense,
Yeah.
right? You are fed also by the energy of your patients, and I'm sure when you see a patient who is doing well, is or she is reacting well to your treatments, it probably motivates you and gives you a boost of energy too. It's
Yes,
a nice
for
feeling
sure.
when people are feeling better. Or when it comes to politics, if you see an achievement that you were part of, SkyTrain,
Right.
better police work, I don't know what it is
Sure.
that you would see, but and you know that you played a part in it. That
Yes.
also must be very satisfying.
Well, it is. And I mean, as you have mentioned, for each of us, we have our own way to feel satisfaction, but that for me is truly satisfying when somebody, a local neighbor, is running into a challenge with something in their neighborhood and they're able to come and let me know and I'm able to help them find a solution. It's really rewarding
It's really rewarding.
because their life is better.
Absolutely. From a naturopathic standpoint, physical standpoint, health and wellness standpoint, could you share with us some of the things you do, whether it's nutrition or supplements, on a fairly daily basis that you know help you stay in shape? It's important to mention because at a time when there is an overall, and it's a worldwide problem, I mean, in Western countries, that it's harder to get access to doctors and the medical system is overrun. Sorry. So people need to be more proactive when it comes to their health. So can you give some advice when it comes to that?
Well, and we can go to a very simple place when it comes to our health. For me, if I'm able to each day go into nature, so even for 30 minutes, get outdoors, walk, be around the water, whatever that may be. But for me, it's the water and looking at the wildlife, seeing the seals, whatever I come across. For me, that's very grounding and nurturing. So that's something simple that can be done, a type of routine each day. Sleep, of course, the basics of sleep. We can't underestimate that. And going back to the joy, finding in the moment that joy, that happiness or that fulfillment can help keep us going. And of course, nutrition, eating to fit either our cycle, our moment, the weather, the season, finding ways to listen to our body, tune in and respond in how we eat, how we nourish ourselves really can make a difference.
Alison, you are a single parent now with a brilliant, bright daughter who is also an athlete, pursuing a career that way. And you had a big change in your life recently when you were starting outdoor wellness. Do you mind sharing a little bit about that? It must have been difficult at times, and how you basically reinvented the clinic. And do you mind sharing a little bit? Because a lot of our audience, a lot of people are finding themselves at crossroads in their life.
Right.
Maybe they hit 40, maybe they
Yes.
hit 50 years old,
Yes.
and big changes happen. And as business owners, they can be feeling a little lost or lonely at times.
Yes, well, and that's true. It can be lonely especially if you're the head of your company or you're running your show. Yeah. It can be very lonely. I think for me, we had on top of that a COVID hit. And so when I was involved in a transition from one location to another, that was the first part. And then COVID hit, and then my business shifted into a different model completely. And so in a sense, COVID overtook the focus because it was just, I came to work each day to be there for whoever may need me. And so that helped me to stay on track and not get distracted by whatever else was happening. That wasn't that easy, but and then I just asked myself from my business point of view, okay, why do I do my naturopathic medicine? What is the reason for it? What is the purpose of me being around for others? And that's where I came up with my taglines of energy, passion, and enthusiasm. And so those are 3 words that describe my personality. I have quite a bit of energy. I always have. I'm extremely enthusiastic. Anything I'm involved with, excites me. It could be the simplest thing. It's just my personality. And passion, that is part of it. That's how we're driven to do things, is because we have a passion for it. And so those 3 words are a signal to patients, meaning the patients who really fit with my business are those who have that same style within them, but perhaps something happened. Something happened where maybe it took them a bit down, and we all get taken down at different times. I went through things myself with my business transition. And so those people are drawn to come here because they want to reignite the spark of who they are, and they just need a bit of help. So I hope I can be the person to give them tools so they help themselves and get back to themselves.
Yeah. One day at a seminar, thank you, Alison. One day at a seminar, I heard a speaker. It was a chiropractic seminar, and the speaker from the stage mentioned passion being a magnet. People want to be around people who are passionate.
Right.
And when I think about you, I've been a patient, and we've had a work relationship for years. And every time I come here, I find that I see in you that energy, that enthusiasm, sometimes even for little things.
Yes.
I can see that, and that passion that drives you. You're excited when you have a new product, something else. You're talking about it.
Yes.
You know it can help people. So I think you are attracting the people who like to gravitate around that.
Yes.
So that's a very interesting observation. Can you share with us how it is to be a business owner, also a politician, and having a daughter that also demands a lot of your time, and during COVID that must have been difficult. How do you manage all of that? You have all these balls in the air.
Right. Well, I think
juggling.
Fair. I'm really lucky that my daughter has 2 parents, and so because of my heavy schedule, I have been lucky enough that her father takes on a lot of the daily needs of Olivia, meaning driving, making sure she's got food, etc., whatever a teenager might need. What I'm providing I feel, is the support network for her. I connect with her through, texting, phoning, provide, if she calls me up in the middle of the day, I try to be there to, give her what she needs. And so it's a nice balance that has been found, whether, out of necessity more than anything, and also out of skill sets. So my skill set is probably very helpful when it comes to, moments where someone is needed to provide ideas or support or solution or, that connective tissue that keeps somebody going. And
she's an athlete.
Yes. So she's a high-level athlete, and she's got to navigate. She's an independent person, so trying to help her navigate her independence with support without her really realizing the support is even there. And that's not an easy role, but it's a role that suits me. And I'm very happy to be, able to help her with that.
Alison, to come back to the purpose of Bizwell Studio, which is to kind of encourage people to merge wellness and business, bring more wellness into their life and their business. We really feel that the business, to some extent, is an extension of who we are.
Right.
And do you feel that is true? When you build outdoor wellness, there's so much of you in that business.
Yes. And I think, I know there are a number of businesses out there that strive to, be less in their business, have more free time. And so I read a lot, I think a lot, and for me that doesn't seem totally feasible at this point. Obviously, if there was another individual, another doctor, naturopathic, that came along and wanted to, participate with me and had a style like me, then perhaps.
You would have more time, maybe.
Perhaps. But my, the fuel of my life is to be in my business. I love that. And so I couldn't imagine not being in my business at this point. I don't see how that would, really even work for me.
And it's interesting, Alison, as a naturopath, that you're also bringing an anti-aging, cosmetic, non-invasive procedures component into what you do.
Right.
You have both,
Yes.
Traditional naturopathic medicine and the aesthetic side.
Yes.
Why? And why do you think it's important for business owners to maybe forget about the stigmas that are attached to traditionally aesthetics? People say, it's vanity.
Right.
To want to look good. Well, really, is it? When you're a business owner, don't you think that it's important to look and feel good when you're about, for example, to negotiate a big contract? Or
Yes.
Can you tell me your opinion about that?
There's a simple piece of research that I remembered about, and in this case it happened to be for women, so it didn't stand the same for men, but what they noticed is if a woman appears groomed, her wage is higher by 35%. So that statistic alone...
It's not fair.
It's not fair. No, but it's real. And so once I learned that, I thought, wow. And it fit in with my philosophy anyways, which is beauty is from within, health is from within. And then what else? What else can we do? So if I have a patient who's trusted me with their hormone health, then later they want to know, once their hormones are much better balanced, they want to know what else can we do to have me improve and feel better than I already do. And so that's where the aesthetics came in. But I think, again, I really thought a lot about this, and my aesthetics is a little bit different than some of my other colleagues, I believe. And it's because I wasn't interested in pursuing it for the, let's say, financial gain that is very available to many naturopathic doctors and other physicians when it comes to aesthetics. It isn't, it's a lucrative opportunity, potentially. But for me, that's not why I'm involved with it. I want to be able to have somebody take the beauty of who they are, each piece of that their personality, their features, and upgrade it slightly, upgrade it dramatically, depending. But do it in a way that fits with their comfort zone, with their, where they're at. Because a lot of people, it would be their first time exploring these types of approaches. And what I find for me, whenever I get to do those treatments, I'm very happy. I'm excited. It's almost like my artwork for the day.
And I love what you're saying here. And it's interesting because earlier you mentioned sleep. This is very important to have enough sleep. But have you not noticed that sometimes we have less sleep, but we look good, we feel good, we look in the mirror, or somebody says, oh, you look great today, and our energy is up.
Yes.
So for business owners, leaders, sometimes they have to be leading, a team,
Yes.
Inspiration weekend, whatever. If they feel good and look good,
Yes.
they are going to have more energy, they are going to be performing better. It's overall going to benefit the business.
Definitely. That's absolutely true. And so...
And that goes for men too.
It definitely goes for men too. And I mean, I just mentioned the statistic for women, but it definitely matters for men as well. So, and I do find men are looking to improve their health more and more because they don't want to, they want to live longer as long as they can,
yes.
and live well.
Good.
Yes, that's
absolutely.
right.
It's so important. In closing, Alison, what would you recommend other business owners to maybe implement in their lives? I mean, you mentioned a few things,
yes.
Nature and things like that. As a naturopath, I mean, people can do that, and that's great because
yes.
outside of your time commitment, it doesn't really cost anything.
Yes.
But outside of that, would you recommend business owners to maybe have a naturopath in their team as a team partner when it comes to their health?
Sure.
And what kind of treatment, what kind of approach should they expect,
yes.
from their naturopath to help them in their business life perform
yes.
better?
Right. Well, I mean, they have an expertise in their work. So any business person, if they're corporate, if they run their own business, they have their expertise. And so that's where they excel. But they may not excel in every area. And when it comes to health, I often, and we've heard this before, we spend our lives building our wealth, and then we have to spend the rest of our lives spending our wealth to restore our health. And so wouldn't it be nice to do it in tandem, build wealth and keep and maintain and improve health? And if we put the effort in tandem, then when we are at a place to leave some of our work behind, if that's what we choose, we can then go on and pursue and enjoy our lives without such a burden with our health.
Yeah, and from a practical standpoint, I mean, a few things you can offer a business owner, let's say, would be maybe to help with proper nutrition.
Correct.
Advice by doing maybe some allergy testing, and then so that the nutrition they take really serves them and not works against them. And then
yes.
maybe some IV treatment
Absolutely.
once in a while in the winter time. So could you share maybe a couple of examples?
Yes, I'll give you a couple of examples, and in both of these cases, they were male patients who came in. One had come from far away, so they had come across me through a referral from another practitioner, and they come to, from in another part of BC to visit me once a month to do some intensive work and therapy to improve their health because they'd gone through a big health challenge about a decade ago, and they're now back at home in between treatments, and people will come in who haven't seen them say, "What are you doing? You haven't looked this good in years. What are you up to? What's going on?" And of course, it's visible to others. The skin tone changes, the outlook changes, the energy changes, and so for this person, even their partner said to me, keep making him smarter and brighter and healthier. And so it's really neat to see that somebody who their whole life they spent building a beautiful business and yet was suffering. And so now that there's someone like me who can help out, their life is only getting better. And so that's really fulfilling. And then another fellow came in, and he had been on some medication because family history of diabetes and other health issues, and felt he needed to lose some weight and turn around some of his health practices. So I put him on a bit of a program, and it was a little bit strict. Usually I'm not that strict, but a little bit strict for him. And he came back a couple weeks later. He's 10 pounds lighter. His medication's cut in half. He's more energetic. His skin looks better. And so, it's not a difficult thing to do. It's just starting, finding someone you can work with and getting to it and getting some guidance as to what to do. And the IV therapies, in the first story I told you, IV therapies were critical for this person's recovery. In the second story, we haven't broached that area yet. We're working through nutrition and supplements right now. So depends on the patient.
It depends on the patient.
Yeah.
You tailor it, you listen to their situation, you want to know a little bit more about their lives, their challenges, and then you tailor the program. And then they look at you as being part of their, I call it the team,
That's right.
And it's wonderful. I mean, people go to the gym, they do things, but having a naturopath part of your team can really, really help you maintain your energy and navigate the challenges in life. As a business owner, there is a lot of challenges every day.
Truly,
challenges.
Truly there are.
Well, thank you so much, Alison, for what you do. It's always a pleasure coming here and meeting you, and I appreciate that you're sharing these little nuggets of wisdom with our audience today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Laurent. I really had a great time. We'll see you next time.
Thanks.
Yeah.